Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. We are going to be testing out the brand new Milani. They have their new Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer as well as their Conceal and Perfect Foundation Stick. I actually had these products for a couple of weeks now or so, just hanging out here on my vanity, and I've been meaning to sit down and film a review and a really good wear test on this stuff, but other things have come up, and so I woke up this morning and I was like, this is the perfect time. I'm getting ready to go to work. Why not and sit down, film this video, and give it a true wear test because your girl works 10-hour days. This stuff is going to get a very tried and true test. Obviously, we'll see how it makes it through my workday. I don't know if I'll be able to do like in the middle of the day check-ins, but I'm definitely going to try. Right now, I don't have my phone right in front of me, but it is 9 o'clock. I know that for a fact because I checked before I sat down. We'll just kind of go from there. I am going to give you guys a quick update here. If you want to skip this part, I will put timestamps in the description box below where you can kind of skip ahead. I try to do that in all of my review videos. So if you don't want to hear the update about my channel, check out the description box below to skip past the chit chat. I have been thinking a lot the past few days, and I really think it is a smart move for me to go ahead and to actually dedicate certain days to uploads on my channel. So I have decided that every Wednesday and Sunday is for sure 100% dedicated upload days, which means you will have at least 2 brand new videos from me every week. This is going to help me stay more organized. It's going to give me a chance to produce the best content possible. And essentially it's just a way really to help me stay more organized so I can give you guys the best of the best. I am doing a lot right now in my life. I'm dealing with a wedding. My house needs so much remodel work. That is a story for another time. I do work full time. I have family and friends and so many other things that I'm trying to juggle right now. I don't know if there's any other fellow creators watching this video. Well, I do know there is, but I'm assuming the majority of you are not. There is so much that goes into making a video. Sometimes you have to record and take multiple takes. The memory card doesn't work. Your camera messed up. Your mic isn't on. Your lighting is off. You notice that you've had lipstick all over your teeth throughout the entire video. Editing in itself can take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours depending on how long the video is. There's technical difficulties. Just going through that whole process, making a thumbnail, there is so much more that goes into YouTube than just slapping yourself down in front of a camera, just cutting out a few parts and then just uploading it. There is so much more than that. I know that you guys know that, but I just want to let you know that by me making this decision to dedicate Wednesday and Sunday to brand new uploads for you guys will ensure that I'm giving you the best of me, and it will keep me on track and keep me organized. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it and get started with the makeup. So like I said, I have the foundation, the concealer in front of me. They did also launch a brand new matte bronzer. I have been playing with this, so I am going to put this on for you guys as well on camera. And then I also have previously owned this Milani blush here. This is the matte powder blush in the shade Coral Cove. And I also have the Make It Last setting spray as well as their Prime Perfection hydrating face primer. So we've got a few things Milani in front of us that we can play with, things that will work great together. So as usual, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in. We'll put on this foundation, talk about it a bit, and then we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and start off with the stick. I typically know off the bat that I prefer to apply stick foundations with a brush. It just blends better for me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is in the shade 225 Natural. So Milani did already have a Conceal and Perfect liquid foundation. I have tried it before and I wasn't a huge fan. I felt like it was heavily fragranced. Oh my god, and I just realized I didn't even put on the primer. So I guess we'll do the primer on one half of the face. There you go. Heavily fragranced, and at the time when I tried it, the shade range, I couldn't find the shade. Like no matter, I ordered several different shades and I just couldn't do it. I know that they have expanded on that, but it is what it is. This shade that I have right now, the Natural 225, is slightly a bit warm for me right now. This would probably be more my summer shade, although I don't really tan in the summer. I try to stay away from the sun and wear SPFs, but I do still get a little bit of color in the summer. Now, I always use a damp brush. I should mention the brush that I'm using is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe collection, the JEFFRY. This is one of my favorite foundation brushes. I feel like damp brushes help when you have drier skin, and right now I definitely do. So I would say after a couple of streaks couple of swipes on the skin, I do get pretty good coverage out of it. I would say that it is more of a medium coverage. So let's go ahead and layer it up. I do like just a bit more, and I feel like I have a hair on my eye. It's probably cat hair. What do you know? Cat hair. Shocker. All right, so I so far am actually really happy with the way that this looks even without a primer. I'm usually pretty well moisturized, so it is bunching a little bit right here around my nose. So this is supposed to be more of a natural matte finish. I have some issues with matte foundations a lot of the times. I'm very picky about them. There are only a select few that actually look good on my skin, but it did layer nicely. I'm just gonna try to blend it out a bit around my nose. It still looks pretty good around the nose. Yeah, I'm not mad at the finish. Everywhere else it looks pretty good. With foundation though, it's kind of hard to tell. You kind of have to wear it for a while, let it set into the skin. So let's just keep going. So I'm going to use the Prime Perfection Primer Base from Milani on this side of my face. Now, I'm going to let you guys know I have used this primer before, spoiler, and I really, really like it. It's hydrating and it does actually smooth out some fine lines and some pores, which is very unique without feeling like there's a heavy amount of silicone. So for me, this is probably one of the most unique primers that I have ever tried, because usually pore filling primers just feel so slippy and they're so full of silicone, but you're not able to get that extra, you know, hit of hydration, where I feel like this primer does that. All right, so let's see this side. I do have to say, I actually like the way this blended out on the side with the primer better. So I can honestly tell you that this primer did make a difference in the way that this foundation did apply to my face. I didn't see as much of it bunching or gathering. It spread out a little bit easier, and I just feel like, because again, I am inherently dry, that extra hit of hydration really helped, and it did help this foundation blend out a bit, and it looks really beautiful on this side. You can see I have like a little bit of luminosity peeking through. This side still does look good, look pretty good as well, but I do have to be honest, I do prefer the side with a primer. I want to just put a little bit right here because that's where I'm more red. So I do feel like it layered nicely. Yeah, I definitely have to say I do prefer the side that I used the primer. Definitely. First thing I do want to mention as well, the liquid version of this does give you a lot more coverage. Like I said, I have tried that one before. This is buildable. Typically, stick foundations, in my opinion, are going to be products that you build up. I don't know why that is. That's just the way it is. I'm not a makeup chemist, but that's just what I have found from my own personal experiences, that when you have a stick foundation, they are best applied in thin layers and built up to the coverage. After about 2 thin layers, I do say that I got a very, very high medium coverage, not quite full. Could you get there? Maybe. I'm a little bit hesitant to build this up any further because, to be honest, I don't need to. This is as much coverage as I usually need or that I would ever go for, so this is perfect for me. I think it looks pretty good. The color, I could have went, stepped a shade up or maybe half a shade up if it was available. I did order mine directly from the Milani website, so this I felt like was a pretty good match. Let's go ahead and move on to the concealer. So this is the Longwear Concealer from Milani. This is a brand new product. I have mine in the shade 120 Light Vanilla. I do have my dampened Wet n Wild sponge right in front of me. You guys know that is my favorite sponge right now if you've been watching my channel at all. So this, again, I think is supposed to be more of a soft, natural matte concealer. Now the shade I picked is perfect for me. I do like a bit of brightening. Sometimes I go a little too bright, but I feel like this one matches perfectly with the shade foundation that I picked. Wow, that blended out way too easily and gave me a beautiful amount of coverage. Off the bat, the concealer, definitely impressed with. We'll see how it dries down. So when I try a concealer, the first thing I look for, is it bunchy? Is it cakey? Is it thick? Does it blend? Does it make everything else look messed up? Does it exaggerate fine lines? I do have some crepiness under my eyes here. I don't have any under eye filler, so for me, I'm really picky with concealers because not every single one I put on is going to look fantastic. So as you can see, that is a really beautiful finish. that is a beautiful concealer, you guys. Very rarely do I use a concealer and really flip out about it and go off about how it looks. I mean, I do definitely have my favorites, but man, I don't know what it is. It's this color. I do have a hard time finding a shade that I really truly love. It's either way too bright or way too dark. It's hard for me to find that happy medium personally with my skin tone. That's just how I feel. But wow, this just blends out and just looks so beautiful on the skin. I'm impressed. All right, let's take another look so far. Yeah, I don't see it bunching or gathering or anything. It just looks really nice. So I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit of a secret. I haven't really been setting my concealer. I know that sounds weird and it does crease a bit typically, but I would rather have that than setting powder under my eyes. I feel like no matter what powder I use, it exaggerates my lines. And if I find the right concealer, like the Too Faced or In This Way or the ColourPop concealers, they don't really crease on me. So I don't really have a huge issue with that. So they usually set well. I am going to set the rest of my face here. I'm gonna take my large Morphe brush and my Hourglass Veil setting powder. I'm just gonna gently tap just to set this all into place. This is by far my favorite setting powder. And again, even now upon further inspection, I definitely still prefer the side that had the primer underneath. Let me try to zoom you guys in even more. All right, that's as close as we can get. So here's the side with the primer. And this is the side without. Maybe you can't tell, but when I look up close, there's just a way that the foundation blended out and set into the skin on top of that primer that is absolutely beautiful. But overall, you guys, so far, I'm definitely impressed with this foundation. I like the coverage that it gave me, the ease of blendability. It just blended out so effortlessly. And this concealer, oh my God, absolutely stunning. Looks so good. All right, I'm gonna zoom you guys back out and let's put on a couple of face products. All right, so now that we have our foundation set, let's go ahead and dip into this bronzer right here. I have mine in the shade Sunlight #1. This is their Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. Now this smells very much like the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but not as potent, but it still has that beautiful coconut smell and it smells really good. There's no mirror in this. I thought that there was at first looking at the packaging, but I'm not seeing one. So I'm gonna take my Delium Tools. This is the 980 large powder brush. I'm gonna pick up some of this bronzer. There really isn't any kick up or anything from this. I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly bronze. So this bronzer shade is gorgeous. I have, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I have been playing with this. It blends so beautifully and the color is stunning. Usually lighter or cool tone bronzers like this can read red on my skin, but this one doesn't. It just gives me like that beautiful sun-kissed glow. It reminds me a lot of the Kylie Tequila Tan bronzer that I just reviewed on my channel not too long ago, but just with like light hand, just looks so beautiful on the skin. I'm gonna go a little bit heavier. I really want to bronze it up today. I do love my shimmery bronzers, but sometimes it's nice to not have that. It's nice to have like a matte bronzer, a matte blush, and then to have that boom pop of highlight and let the highlight do the work. I'm gonna bronze a little bit on the jawline here, down the neck, give your girl a jawline. All right, and then I'm just gonna take my brush, kind of go like this, and just do a really haphazard contour of the nose. I don't usually heavily contour my nose anyways, but I'll give it a little bit of definition today. Beautiful, look at that. This is a gorgeous bronzer. This is probably the best matte drugstore bronzer that I have ever tried. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to the blush. Honestly, this has been sitting in my collection for a while and I haven't really used it much. As you can tell, I've had this for probably about a year and it got shoved in the back of my drawer and I completely forgot about it until I decided to sit down film this video for you guys. So let's find a nice blush brush here. This is from BH Cosmetics. This is their #3. So this is pretty pigmented. I'm using a very light hand. I want to do something a little bit more pinky because it is Valentine's Day today. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and pop some highlighter on. What highlight do I want to use? This is my favorite highlight right now. Again, this is On the Cusp. This is from ColourPop. It is just so gorgeous the way that it goes on. Look at that. I mean, that's like a tap. It doesn't exaggerate texture. It looks so beautiful and reflective on the skin. It is my favorite. Gorgeous. I love this stuff even on like my no makeup days. Oh, such a beautiful highlight. And why not? Let's top it with some Dreamin' of Diamonds. Ooh. We are glowing today and I'm not mad about it. All right, you guys, I'm gonna hop off camera. I'm gonna finish up the rest of my look here and then I will be right back. Hey guys, so I'm actually at work in the break room doing a quick check-in. I am a complete idiot. After I finished my makeup, I wanted to show you guys the finished look, but then I realized I was going to be late for work, so I didn't have time to do that. And I don't know where to look in this camera, so please excuse me. I don't usually film from my cell phone, but I had this on for about probably close to 4 hours, and so far I feel like it's looking pretty good. There's no filter, so obviously as you can see all the texture on my skin that I naturally have, but I feel like this foundation's holding up pretty well so far. I'll do a final check-in once I'm off work. You guys, so here we are at the end of the day. It is 7:41 at night. I have been wearing this foundation for a little over 10 hours, and I have to say I am very impressed. I did one side of my face without primer, one side with, and I do have to say the side with the primer did hold up just a little bit better. I have a little bit more of the foundation breaking up in this area right here, and obviously I do see a lot of fading in this area, but I can't docket any points for that because eating, talking to patients all day, just naturally for me, this is where foundation is going to fade the most. I do look a tad bit oily up here, but not bad considering the fact that I really didn't use a lot of setting powder on my face today. To talk about the concealer, that looks absolutely beautiful. Again, a little bit broken up through here, but nothing terrible. Obviously from a normal face length away from somebody, you wouldn't really be able to tell. If I look up close, there is a little bit of breaking up, but again, I didn't set my under eyes and there really isn't any creasing really at all going on. Even though my eyes tend to crease no matter what there, that's just my skin. It didn't bunch, it didn't do anything funky. I'd have to say for wearing this foundation for a full 10.5 hours, I am really shocked at how well it wore. Obviously the bronzer is still on. The Make It Last setting spray obviously probably helped make this last. It's 16+ hour wear. So the stick foundation, the concealer, the primer, which I am a huge fan of. I want to buy the full size of this, as well as the Make It Last setting spray. And, oh, I forgot. Not only did the bronzer stay on pretty well, but the blush looks pretty good too. I still have some color to my cheeks. So, Milani, I am really glad that I took some time to try out your products because I am really shocked at how well they work. I'm going to come out and say it. Out of a lot of the drugstore products that I have tried, obviously I love my infallible 24-hour fresh wear for a liquid foundation. But if you like a stick foundation formula, check this out. This is a solid product. I am totally impressed. The concealer especially, I am a huge fan of. I can see myself continually using this, especially since I don't like to set my under eyes. I don't like a dry under eye area, and no matter what setting powder I use, it always tends to look dry. So again, I am going to continue to use these products. I absolutely love them. The bronzer shade is beautiful. The blush is pigmented. I just have to say that, again, after wearing this through a full work day, my makeup looks pretty damn good. So I have to give all of these Milani products a huge thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what Milani products you love, what you have tried. If there's any that you love, and then obviously I didn't show here today, let me know because I would love to try them out. I am really into more affordable drugstore makeup because with my experience, I am, yes, I'll say it, 33 years old. I've tried a lot of product, and lately this affordable makeup they've really stepped up their game, and they're a player. I would definitely say that I reach for my affordable makeup way more than my high end, and that's not just because it's cheaper, it's simply because it performs well. There are some solid affordable products. So again, comment as well if there's any other affordable drugstore products that you love. Is there anything that you would like me to test out on my channel? I would be happy to test out more affordable makeup for you guys if it's something that you want to see. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends and family. That helps me so much. And of course, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button along with the bell button before you go. The bell button is pretty much the new subscribe button. So I know you've heard so much talk about that. That helps me out a lot. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Your support means the world to me. Love you guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.